Hey guys, another quick video about bleeding brakes here. I'm going to get right to the point to make this quick as possible. Got two products here. You got the Pittsburgh Premium Brake Fluid Bleeder and the Motive Products Power Bleeder. The Harbor Freight Pittsburgh version uses a shop air compressor and it uses that air. It flows it over a venturi, which creates vacuum, and you ultimately use vacuum to suck brake fluid from your master cylinder to your wheels or your brakes, your bleed screws. And the Power Bleeder by Motive Power Bleeder, that uses pressure to push brake fluid from your master cylinder reservoir out to your individual wheels that bleed screws, your bleed screws. Now, the Pittsburgh Harbor Freight unit that uses the compressed air, the biggest problem is you need a big air compressor to power this thing. You need a lot of flow, constant flow, a lot of CFM to power that vacuum bleeder. You know, a little pancake air compressor or a little small, tiny little cheap air compressor just isn't going to have enough flow, enough CFM to keep up with the demands of running that Harbor Freight bleeder. Whereas the Power Bleeder by Motive, that just has a built-in hand pump, and once the system is pressurized, it doesn't take much to just move a little bit of fluid, and you could pump it back up if you need to or whatever. But usually, you pump it up once or twice, and that's enough to do the entire vehicle for the most part. I mean, you're not talking about mass amounts of air. I mean, you bleed the system at like 10 or 15 psi. So, but anyhow, I've used both of these. The Pittsburgh unit from Harbor Freight, it never left me with much confidence. Like, is there still bubbles, or is it completely bled? You never know, because the bleed screws, when they're loose, which allows brake fluid to flow, they leak air past the threads, and you get a constant steady stream of bubbles through your bleed hose, and you never know if it's, did I get all the air out of the system, or am I sucking air past the bleed screw? You just never know. But with the Motive Power Bleeder, once the bubbles stop, I mean, you know for a fact that your system is bled. And I don't know. After using both this year, both were bought new this year. I bought the Power Bleeder from Motive second. After that was my second option. The Motive Power Bleeder was by far easier to use. It was more. You felt more confident using it, and it was just all around a better experience. The Harbor Freight unit, like I said, it always had those mystery bubbles, and I never knew for sure if I got all the air out of the system or not. It did move fluid, but I don't know that it moved fluid effectively to where it was 100% bled. Ultimately, when I bought the Motive Power Bleeder, I also bought an Autel hand-held scan tool to do an ABS auto bleed function on my truck. And between the ABS auto bleed and then the Motive Power Bleeder, I was able to get a bunch more air out of my truck, and the pedal came back. Now, I think I mentioned earlier, I did that video about the ABS auto bleed a few months ago, and I'll put a card up if I haven't already. I'll put a card at the top of the screen here so you can check out that video if you'd like. But yeah, ultimately, I mean, if you're just doing a basic brake bleed, the Motive Products Power Bleeder is the way to go. If you do that and you still have a mushy pedal and you can't figure out why, you probably got air trapped in your ABS module, and you need to run an auto bleed function if your vehicle has that ability. Most of them do, as far as I know. I'm not a professional mechanic, so don't hold me to it. That Autel scanner was able to hook me up with that, and literally my pedal feels as good as it did when the truck was brand new. So anyway, just a little some of the differences between these two bleeders. If I was to do it all over again, I'd just go straight to the Motive Products Power Bleeder. It worked terrific. There was absolutely no question. And one thing about the Motive Products, though, the Motive Products Power Bleeder, they are vehicle specific. So you got to make sure that you order the correct one, because it attaches directly to your master cylinder. And so, every vehicle's got a different style master cylinder. So you got to make sure you order the one that fits your vehicle. And then even when you get that, then you have an option, like if you notice on mine, it's got a red anodized aluminum adapter. That was a step up. That was an option up. You can get it with just the plastic cap, and that's a little bit cheaper. I don't remember the exact pricing, but I know I just went for the red anodized one. Not because of the red anodizing, but just because it was made out of metal instead of plastic, and I wanted to eliminate any trouble. I'm not saying the other ones don't work. I've never bought one of the other ones, so I don't know. I just went right for this one. So, but yeah, it worked terrific. And I will put links down below in the video description for both of these products, depending on which one you decide you'd like to get. The Harbor Freight Pittsburgh or the Motive Products Power Bleeder. Like I say, it's up to you, but the Motive worked awesome for me. Thanks again for watching, and as always, please like, share, and subscribe for more.